Welcome to our next tutorial. In this tutorial I will show you how to update the patient card, and obviously this is the element that you're going to be using the most during the consultations. There are two ways how you can actually access your patients. Obviously one of them is as soon as the appointment is made in the system, um, all you have to do is just hover your mouse over. Don't click on the appointment, just hover over, and you'll see that at the bottom you've got actually who's attending. Obviously yourself as a practitioner, but then you've got the patient information. So as soon as you click on the patient information from the appointment, the system will straight away take you to that patient card. So that's all you have to do when the new patient comes in and you're already in the patient card. The other way around is obviously if you click on the patients tab, you can actually choose it from the list. I expect your list won't be as short as mine. This is just a demo account. So you got two options. You're either gonna choose it by choosing one of the letters, for example, or what you can do also is like in this case I will have only one, or you can just search it. So search for patient Matt. If I'll search that, I'm obviously gonna have my patient, and then I can click on the patient again and it will take me back to the same patient card as we've seen before. So this is the area how you actually can access the patient card. Now as soon as we are in the system, it's very important to understand that this system doesn't record everything automatically. When you do or add new information, you always have to add them, save them, or submit them. So every single time, please keep in mind. Now this system's got two sections. So all the information that you're going to enter here, for example, if there are any allergies, let's say there's no allergies, and you would like to make sure that this stays in the system, or I'd like to add a birth date, which might be, for example, in 2011 in seconds, doesn't matter really what is it, but I'd like to make sure that this is all those information stays. I have to click on that update button. Now if you will not click it and you will go any further and start making changes, and you're gonna add, for example, a note, a comment, those informations that you just entered and not updated will be lost, unfortunately. So please be very careful about that, and as soon as you enter new information, quickly update them. It takes just a second and all the information will always stay there. So now the date, obviously the birthday, and the information we entered will be there. Now the most important element of the whole system is obviously the history panel, which talks about everything that we actually did with the patient. So starting from first one, obviously there is a note, and this is the most important. Every single time during the consultation I'm sure you make notes, as everyone does, and you might actually put some notes. Here every single time we discuss something with a patient. There is absolutely no limitation on the number of characters. You can put as many as you want, and you can obviously type in whatever you really like here. As soon as that's done, you obviously can attach a file if this is your case. If there was a discussion about some x-ray you might have or some blood test you might have, which you've got in a scanned form, you can attach every single file here, so it definitely stays with your patient card. It will never go anywhere. Same applies to cases where you can add a file. For example, your receptionist received results of a hair analysis. We can upload those results obviously straight away from here, and please make sure that every single time you do that you actually add it. So you press the button add. This is the very important element, and obviously all those information straight away will be here and they're always gonna stay. Now the notes obviously are staying, and as long as they will be, this will just simply expand and you will always be able to read all of them. If you will need more information, if you will have to update them or change something, all you have to do is just click and then you can actually change those notes, or update them obviously. And this is very important. Now on that list you also have obviously a couple of other things. You can set up an appointment. So for the next appointment, all you provide is new description. For example, Matt G, second appointment. And we might put some notes for ourselves. Please check something, please don't check something. And then we're setting up a date. For example, I want to see Matt on Friday, which is in 5 days. And I want to see him at 3 p.m. Which is absolutely fine to do. And we're going add. Now, what this will do is basically add the appointment here to your list, and obviously it's scheduled for the 22nd at 3 p.m. What it also does is, if you go back to your appointments or your home page, this appointment should be automatically pasted into your calendar. And at the same time, as you can hear, it's straight away here. And at the same time, obviously for all external users, this area will be blacked out, so they won't be able to book because it's already taken. So going back to our patient, this is obviously the appointment tab. Also, I encourage you to use a lot of the tasks. This is a great tool to actually help us to manage everything that we have to do. If we have to call the patient back, if we have to call, for example, pathology for a test or anything that is related to that patient, I would encourage you to do that. We might, for example, put call Matt G and ask for the results. So I typed them in earlier, so that's why the computer remembers that. And then, for example, I'd like to do it, let's say I would like to do it today, and I'd like to do it at 7 p.m. And as soon as we got all those information in, and we're gonna add the task, obviously the task comes in our history, so that was the setup the tasks. And when it's a due date, so this is the difference. With the task, you're always gonna get a due date rather than actually just this fixed date. And all we have to do is just type in on home, and you will see on the left panel that we've got additional tasks for the day. That's why I've chosen today, so we don't have to change too much. But today I've got to call Matt G. In cases that I have called Matt G, what we can do is obviously type in some comments. Good results, and as soon as we've got a good results and we add that comment in, and we might could have actually add as well 100%. This task obviously has been completed. If you want to, important save and click window. We're gonna talk about it a little bit later as well. But this task basically has been updated. What we can also do in the last, if we click one of those, I'm gonna cover that in tasks. We can say this has been completed, and it's done, ticked. Now if we go back to actually our patient, and this is the most important element, that's why the system works so well for us. If we go back to our patient Matt G, and we're going to go to that history, we obviously can see the tasks here, so we know that this task was due on that day. But what was actually the call made? I made the call and I want to see what actually happened. And what I can see here is good results. Okay, I called the patient on that day and we actually got the results. Obviously this is to call the patient, but we might have to call the results from a pathology center, and when the patient comes in says, okay, I called actually the pathology on that day and this is the results I got. That's why it's so important to actually use it that way, and obviously it allows you to modify everything. So the tasks is a very, very useful tool. So once again, this is the three most important elements that we're going to be using. The one that will going to be added to that list very soon is actually the prescription, where you will be able to actually add prescriptions to each patient, and this will be available shortly to you as well. So this is basically how to update the entire panel of patient card. Again, if you've got any questions, feel free to call us 1300-774-021, or just send us an email at info@smarterclinic.com. Thank you very much.